This week's lesson is all about lines. We're going to be able to draw a 3D hand or spoon using straight lines, and it's going to look 3D because we're going to add curved lines to it. We're going to practice by shading and making it look realistic, or having our lines spaced wide apart or close together. So before we start, we're going to look at an artist called Carl Krull. There's a video on my webpage if you want to see him making art. He was born in 1975 in Denmark. He uses lines to make all of his art. He thinks that most kids stop drawing because they don't see adults drawing anymore, but he continues to draw using straight lines and then curved lines, or lines that come out at different angles, to make his images look 3D, just like we're going to do today. This picture is an abstract picture. It could be a rock or something like that, but he doesn't always draw an actual picture. He's done a lot of work on people, so you'll see this work looks like a person sliding, or a person in a corner, or a person in a box. He creates these images by using horizontal, vertical, diagonal, jagged lines, curved lines, all different lines. Sometimes he makes images that are really, really big, and they take him a long time. He uses thick and thin lines. Sometimes he makes images that are very small. He's ambidextrous, which means he can use his left and right hand at the same time. He experiments very occasionally with colour, and currently he's experimenting with virtual reality and drawing with lines through laser guns. This doesn't show up very well on this image, but there's quite a lot of stuff on the internet to talk about virtual reality and how trendy that is at the moment. We're going to start by learning how to draw around our hand and make it look 3D on the page. I've done mine in black and white, but you could quite easily colour your image afterwards. You'll just need a piece of paper, pencil, and a ruler, or something straight, anything straight. You can choose to do your hand or a wooden spoon. Okay, this is how we're going to make our 3D spoon and 3D hand. I hope you can see that in the light, because today we are going to be working in grey lead. If you don't have a grey lead, you'll have to do it straight into pen, but hopefully you're all set up and you've got your pencil and your pencil sharpener and your eraser and you're ready to go. You're definitely going to need a ruler today. If you do not have a ruler, you can use something like the side of a book, something that is straight, perhaps a tray from the cupboard in the kitchen, something straight. That will help you, otherwise you'll have to do it freehand, which won't be fun. So what we're going to do is we're going to either draw around a spoon or a hand, and we're going to try and make it look three-dimensional on the page by using tiny lines and as well some nice shading. So that's the plan. I hope you can see this in grey lead. So I'll do the hand first, and then I'll go on to do the spoon. Like Carl Krull, we're going to do the exact same effect as Carl Krull. We're going to do lines going horizontally across our page. Carl Krull does horizontal and vertical when he wants to change the feeling and the mood of his work. Sometimes he does swirly lines, especially when he's doing virtual reality work, which is where they work in light. So we're just going to copy some of his techniques to make our picture look 3D. You can be very technical and you can measure centimetres up the side, or you can just take your ruler up the page as you go. So it's really up to you. First thing you're going to need to do is you're going to need to take your hand that you do not write with. So here's my pencil, and you're going to need to draw around your hand, and you're going to need to get a hand shape onto the page, and then it's going to look like that. If you want to be really precise, you can take your ruler and you can mark every ½ centimetre. I tried this every centimetre, it doesn't work, it's too thick, the lines are too spaced apart. So if you want to do little lines like that all the way up this side and all the way up this side, it will give you a guide. Sometimes if you don't do a line all the way up, like with little dots, it just goes wonky. So if you do ½ centimetres all the way up, it takes a while, but you know what? It keeps the lines super straight. So you need to do it up this side of the page and up this side of the page so that you join up the dots. I'll be moving my page this way and putting my ruler, and I'll be drawing my line across that way. Now every time you hit a line where your hand mark is, So as soon as you hit that line, you have to stop drawing. So it's a straight line, hit my hand, straight line. Straight line, hit my hand, straight line. And you're just going to keep on doing that. It's going to be quite a lot of time for you to do this today. I'll try and go as fast as I can. So now I've nearly finished mine. Remember that you'll have to stop every time you get to a finger. Keep the line going. So stop every time in between the fingers. If you can stop each time, then you should have a completely white hand there. If you make any errors, just tidy it up. I've tried to do mine really thick so you can see it. Okay, so you've got all straight lines. Now we can put the ruler away. Now this is the bit where you need to be careful with your hand. So you get each line and you join it up, but you don't join it up with a straight line, you curve up, but just a little bit. So you curve it up just a little bit. Now this is going to make it look standing up. So this combination of straight line and curved lines, so close together, gives your eye the optical illusion that this is a 3D object on the page, because the curved lines look like they're raised and standing up. Now, I did the example one and this one, so if you got tired of this and you're like, oh no, I don't want to do any more, remember I've done 2 of these now. It does take some concentration. Then I like to do like just 1 finger at a time. I'm just going to do the thumb. Curve that round so it looks like that's standing up. And then I'll just do the middle of the hand until I get to the fingers, and then I'm going to do 1 finger at a time. So you're trying to really join those lines up on each side. Some of them it is quite hard because they've got quite close together. I don't know where they are on the opposite side. So now I'm going to do the finger here. I do a slightly bigger curve on the fingers than I do on the flat part of the hand, because these are supposed to be raised up a little bit more. So you go around each individual finger with those curved lines. Now to make it look even more realistic, what you can do is you can just shade your pencil just around the edge and really smudge that in, because sometimes those lines don't always meet. So if you just shade that part, and then you will get a little bit of more of a smudged look to your line, and then that will help you. I've kind of smudged some of the lines out. My pencil is a 2B pencil. You probably don't have that at your house. If you've got some fancy smancy pencils, then you should be using them, because this is the perfect sketching opportunity for you to use them. And if you have just a regular pencil, it will work too. So this is the fun part. The boring part is all the straight lines, but if you get that bit really well, then your hand, I'm really rushing mine now, then your hand looks really 3-dimensional when you're looking at it, especially when you're looking at it from a distance. You just colour around the edge just a little bit, like a shadow, so you're pretending that this finger is just a little bit shadowed and raised off the page. And then I'm just going to smudge around the edge. Hopefully that starts to look a little bit 3D off the page. It's hard for me to do in the camera. I've tried to turn the lights down, but the sun's quite bright today where I am. So that's the hand particular picture, the 3D hand picture that you can do. So I've really shaded around the edge of that one. I haven't just finished working around the edge of this one. If you don't want to do a hand and you would prefer to do the spoon, then that's fine. Any kind of spoon that you've got at your house is going to work for this. Now, the wooden spoons I've got in my house are all longer than my piece of paper. I'm going to choose this one, and here is the trick. You put your spoon on the page where you think it goes sort of quite central. You draw around your spoon, okay. Then you just pick it up and you move it up, and then you can add the base of your spoon. Sometimes they don't quite match up, so you're just going to need to make the line join up like that, and then you have a much smaller spoon. Another way to help it look more 3D is to very lightly, don't press hard, but very lightly, you can draw the kind of oval shape in the centre. It's a bit like a fried egg. So if you want to just draw that very lightly, when you're drawing your lines, I'll start my lines in a minute and then I'll come back, but when you're drawing your lines, you're going to go up, down, up. So it's going to be like that all the way across your spoon. Up, down, up. And that's going to even help you even further to make your spoon look 3D. Now, if you're going to do a spoon, you're going to probably need to put your lines thinner together than this. I'm doing mine very thick because I just want to do it quickly. So if you don't have a ruler and you say, Mrs. Hallowell, I didn't have a ruler and I could not do the work, that's fine. You can do it freehand. You don't have to have a ruler. It's better if you have a ruler. So I've done mine the other way this time. I've done my straight lines at the end. It's really up to you what you do. So I'm not using a ruler just to show you that you actually don't need one. If you draw your lines this thick apart, your 3D optical illusion is not as good. But because you don't want to watch me draw all day, I'm just doing it quickly. I've shut my blinds so that hopefully you can see, because I don't normally draw in pencil. So this is if you don't have a ruler and you don't want to spend all day on it. If you have done an incredible job and you've never sent me a picture, maybe today is the day you email me a picture of your work. Maybe this is your thing, maybe you really love sketching. This particular picture is quite rushed, but still has a good effect. Again, I can shade around the edge of the spoon, so I'm just kind of like scribbling with my grey lead around the edge. Scribble, scribble, scribble. Any pencil that you have will smudge. Mine's going to smudge a bit better because it's a 2B, but any pencil you have will smudge. I might just shade around the centre of it as well. The more shading and smudging I do, the better. And you can see that was a really quick one, but actually it's still effective. It still creates a 3D illusion on the page. So whatever you choose, spoon or hand, or you might want to do both because you love sketching. I would love to see your finished products, love to see them. So please try and send them to me because I do enjoy seeing your work. If you can think of another object around the house that you could find that you could do this with, then you could experiment with them as well. So you don't have to just do a hand or a spoon, but these are the ones that I feel are the most simple, that would be a good one to start with. And you can really experiment with your shading and your shadow lines. You can really experiment with them, and you can try one of these pictures or both. Thanks for watching. Thank you for your pictures last week. The online work was incredible. I actually loved that so much. I think we need to do more of that at school. It was brilliant. I loved it. So for those who didn't love it and they really want to do sketching, today's the day you can do sketching, and next week's the last week of term. So I'll see you then. All right, take care, bye.